We should start off today's episode in the YouTube video with that one image macro that was a fucking lie, because we said to the viewers that we would be recording these back to back, and we did not.
I mean, it doesn't really matter because, I mean, they're coming out on a weekly schedule anyway.
Yeah.
At least I hope so.
We normally do them on a weekly schedule, except when we try to time them to a potato task. So we
Yeah,
have
I mean, we
two
did
coming out in the same week,
Yeah,
which was
but
hard.
I mean, it was hard, but it was worth it to an extent.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Oh, also, I'd like to give a big thank you because our very first episode, Like Caveman, has now been played 100 times.
Oh, cool.
Whether it's by different people, 100 different people, we don't know.
Is that over all platforms?
Should be. It's at least on all streaming platforms, not including YouTube.
Yeah, let me see on YouTube how many we have.
It's probably getting lower and lower, but oh well.
Yeah, it is. It has been getting lower per episode, unfortunately.
But I think that's normally how things go with
episode 1 has gotten 161 views on YouTube.
Our first episode was always going to be the most popular because it's the one people will not naturally be drawn to start with.
Yeah. And
we'll decide whether or not they want to keep listening.
Mm-hmm.
But to everyone who is still listening, who's been with us since the trailer even, we really thank you very much, and we'll be drawing to a conclusion Series 2 today. I'm
for people who've been with us since the trailer, specifically you, Spelvin, who is a guy from a Discord server I'm on who has commented helpful potato facts every episode this season so far.
Shout out to Spelvin if you ever want to be a guest. Hook either me or Joe up. Anyway, we're 2 minutes in and we haven't even introduced the bloody thing. Welcome, folks, to the Series 2 finale of Your Time Starts Now, a Taskmaster podcast.
I am Joe, and he is Emerson. Alternatively, if this is an alternate universe, I can be Emerson and he can be Joe.
Yeah, I could be the American with brown hair who claims to be overweight, and he could be the slightly skinnier, lankier, blonde, blue-eyed English guy.
I like how I can claim to be overweight. If I step on your foot, you'll find out real quick.
Well, you can't step on my foot, bitch, because you're on the other side of the screen. I still can't see this man, by the way.
No, I don't have a camera.
No.
On my computer, because I'm using my desktop.
We might do a video episode at some point, but it will have to be for a milestone episode.
I was thinking like Champion of Champions or something. Or if we actually get enough demand for the Patreon, which we haven't yet, but if we do, maybe the first like Patreon specific thing we should do.
I mean, I was thinking we should definitely do one at 100 episodes. Ambitious, I know, but you got to dream. You got to dream big to get get your goal. 50 episodes, maybe.
Maybe when the travel bubble reopens.
This is our banter, by the way. Hopefully, it's not too long.
Mm-hmm.
What was I?
Hopefully, it's not too long, Emerson. Hopefully it's not too long at the 3-minute mark. What fucking podcast have you been on?
Well, we've been trying to keep the banter. We tried to keep the banter pretty short last time, and
that's because you were falling asleep.
I wasn't falling asleep. We did it at like 5, 6 in the afternoon my time. I was pretty awake.
You said that you were very tired, even though you'd gotten sleep. I was.
I think the reason why I've tried to had more energy despite recording later on the others episodes is because I've been overtired.
So clearly we need to do these at like 8 p.m. my time, which will be like 3 in the morning your time, so that you're
no, I will be too wiped out. But I should have a little bit of energy tonight because I have got A certain fizzy drink with me tonight, naming no names.
I do not have any drinks right now. We're going to do this and have some fun, and we're going to go through this because I would like to go through this quickly because it is 5:30 on a Friday, the weekend, Independence Day weekend for those of us who told the British to fuck off, and well, that's a lot. That's a lot of people, specifically the country that's put man on the moon, and but
yeah, but also my country is no other country would exist if it weren't for my country.
I'm sure Russia would, China,
Aside,
places that you invaded.
If the country's not communist, my country probably would have laid the grounds for it.
Yeah. And then, but yeah, no, it's 5:30 on a Friday. It's very sunny out. It's very nice. I would like to do something today, and so we should try and have this that it's not 7:30 at night before we finish.
I mean, that'll probably be how many tangents we decide to go on, because ultimately this is a Taskmaster podcast, but we also talk about various stuff on tangents as well.
Yep.
And we have no shame.
Mm-hmm.
We
shameless plug for ourselves. Please like, share, and subscribe, but do not hit that bell, whatever the fuck you do.
No. Do not climb up into the church tower and ring the bell to signal the townspeople.
You know what? Actually, no. If you have access to a real bell, you should ring it. But not for this, just to annoy people.
I don't have access to a real bell, unfortunately. Sad face. I should just say, though, we've referenced American Independence Day a couple times. American Independence Day is this Sunday. We're recording this on Friday, the 2nd of July.
Which, it is Friday, the 2nd of July. Independence Day is on Sunday, which
we like to really, really date our podcast.
No. I have a specific place I'm going with this, which is that no one is actually celebrating it on the 4th, because all the municipal governments around here, they observe the holidays. Now, you would think that this would mean that if the holiday falls on a Saturday or a Sunday, they just wouldn't close up at all. No. They promised those holidays. So, like, my town is having the fireworks on the 4th and the parade on the 5th, on a Monday. Everything is closed on a Monday. A couple towns over from me are doing everything today. They're closed. Actually, one town, and we're not going to mention any politics in this, but recently the United States instituted a new federal holiday on June 19th. Look it up for yourself. But because that's a very controversial subject in some areas around here, but they instituted that holiday on June 18th. No one had time to prep for this, so a couple municipalities around here have decided that today they're going to observe the June 19th holiday, and on Monday they're going to observe the July 4th holiday. Municipal governments are really, really weird.
No comment.
No comment indeed.
Anyway, we're here. We're just vibing. Anything interesting in your personal life, Joe?
I saw the 9th Fast and Furious movie.
Is that out in this country?
I don't live in the United Kingdom. Did you hear my last tangent?
Yes, I did. It's because there's a chance it's not out yet. Hang on. Oh shit! It actually came out in this. Apparently, it came out in this country before it did in America.
You are behind the times, my dude. It's great. They put NOS on a rocket.
You say that. I don't really care for the Fast and Furious films.
It's great. It's a better superhero franchise than the Marvel movies, except their superpowers are cars and beer and family, because they put NOS on a rocket ship and crashed into a satellite. Now, this is stupid enough, but the rocket ship is a Pontiac Fiero, which that means nothing to you, but our American listeners have just burst out laughing. Oh God, hold on. Let me put that. Let me.
How dare you disrespect Marvel?
Marvel has disrespected themselves by continuing to have shitty storytelling practices. Moving on
I
to
need to binge watch
contextualize
all the Marvel movies and TV shows in chronological order at some point.
I have watched them in chronological order when they came out,
Movies and
Emerson.
shows?
Yes, I've seen them. I think they're okay at best.
Yeah, but am I you?
No. I think two of you put together is still not me.
What the hell does that statistic mean?
I think...
Are
well,
are
what?
you making fun of your weight again?
Yes. That's the general gist of my jokes about this.
Joseph, 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 you weak-minded individual.
Okay, hold on. Where are you going with that, the weak-minded individual?
I don't know, I just wanted to say it.
Okay, whatever. Right? Yes.
I will say, though, if I like that shit, I will fucking watch it.
Oh, yeah, no. The Marvel movies are okay. They're not terrible, but there's significant opportunities throughout most of the films for better story elements, better plot elements, and they just ignore them. And it really drives me up the wall. And they kill off main characters because they have to, or because someone doesn't want to be in it. In contrast to the Fast and Furious franchise, where characters who have been canonically murdered don't die. Like, we need to understand that Vin Diesel's main character in that movie has died at least 3 times. Another guy has been killed off, and it's been shown in 2 different movies, and he didn't die. Paul Walker died in real life, and his character is still alive. And the only person who has actually died is what's her name? Gal Gadot's character, who for some reason died in this movie back when they were still trying to... No, they weren't even realistic then, but Gal Gadot's character died canonically, and she hasn't been brought back yet. But a theory I've heard...
Gibson in
Tyrese earns his paycheck in every fucking movie he is in, including these. Tyrese is great.
Tyrese was on the American Masked Singer, most recent season of that.
Of course, that's why you know him.
Although I did know his name mildly before then.
Mildly.
Yeah. Oh, can I go off on a very brief Masked Singer related tangent?
Sure thing. Please note, this is not actually a Masked Singer podcast, just so we are all aware.
Do you know how... Because obviously people on the Masked Singer, people are worked out stupidly quickly.
No, I didn't know that.
Well, most people are worked out very quickly because it's like... Some people, unlike myself, who just watches the show because it's bright and colourful, like the Teletubbies, with music. Some people are able to pair the voices with the clues quite quickly. Do you know how people worked out Tyrese very quickly?
No, I don't.
Because if you know what I'm talking about, if anyone who's seen the show, they might associate. They might see the celebrities like backstage when not in costume, wearing like visors that shield their face, and a hoodie that says either "Don't talk to me" or "Don't speak to me," depending on which version of the show you watch.
That's a horribly antisocial method of keeping your actors segregated.
I guess, but what happened was Tyrese he took like a picture and uploaded it to Instagram or something, and you could see him wearing the hoodie. This was before he was quote unquote revealed.
Okay.
He basically leaked his own appearance on the show when he wasn't supposed to. And someone else did the exact same thing.
Who were they?
Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh my god! You know, I've realized that I'm glad you like The Masked Singer because you're allowed to like things, but I just don't.
I'm not saying. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the American version because it honestly drives me fucking insane.
Really?
No, I mean.
No. Go into this. I wanna bond over hating this show.
Oh no, I don't hate the show, but it annoys me.
Why?
it's become, well, the American version, it's trying too hard to be interesting, I guess. Like, it to an extent, it is interesting, but it's like, it just jumps the shark literally every episode. And don't ask me how I know jump the shark.
It's Happy Days. Fonzie was on water skis and he jumped over a shark.
Yeah, but I know the saying, how I came across it, I don't know. Like, can I drop a pretty big bomb on you?
Sure thing.
There was another contestant on the same series as season as Tyrese and Caitlin. They were the first out, and you wouldn't. And when it was like announced that this person was going out, everyone watching was like, "Why? No, there was someone who was so much worse." And yes, there was someone who was so much worse. And you know who the person who got unmasked first was?
Ken Jeong?
No. Hi, Kermit the Frog here, and I was on the Masked Singer recently, and it was pretty good. It's not easy.
Your
being
impression
green.
is impeccable, but how the hell did they make that work?
The costume was a snail. Excuse me a second. I'm just gonna Google it. You'll see the costume and how it works if I can just drop it in Discord.
Is this what we're going to do every season finale? Is talk about the Masked Singer?
Probably not, because there won't be anything new next time. Entertain the viewers while I just drop a picture in. You'll have to throw this picture in as well into the edit, but it's like you will see how it works when I drop it in.
Okay, I have Discord open somewhere.
This is great content, ladies and gentlemen.
That's the name of the last episode. Great content.
It is.
But if you audience members would like a joke before we started recording, Emerson and I. Okay, what?
Have you seen it?
What is happening in this picture? Where is? Okay,
the picture's a little. I've sent you as a little bit small.
I can see the image, and it doesn't make any sense.
So, what happening is he's inside a big snail. Obviously, we didn't know it was going to become it until he was unmasked. And so it's just like the guy puppeteering Kermit is in the shell bit.
Yeah. Okay.
It was very obviously just a publicity stunt.
Yeah,
like, he was out in the first episode.
That's a weird. Okay.
It's a snail.
That's a striking image. Kermit the Tumor here to tell you about
I don't. You said my Kermit impression was impeccable. I think it's a bit weird, but
it sounds the thing is, great.
My Kermit is a mix of Kermit and Porky Pig.
No,
because like my Kermit is very stuttery. So if I could do the impression again, hi, Kermit the Frog here, and I'm here to sing Rainbow Connection for you all. I hope you like it. It's a very special.
You have the voice down pat, and that's all that really matters.
Yeah, but the thing is, I kind of like the really. I mean, obviously, Kermit's not really a very stuttery figure. Well, he's a bit of a stuttery figure, but I think just like making him very Porky Pig-esque is pretty funny. Well, in like Porky Pig and like his stuttery mannerism.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's really it. Well, the American Masked Singer just continues to jump the shark literally every single week. The British version is a bit more low-key about its amazing feats. Because obviously I mentioned the Viking was the guy from Aha who actually sang his own song.
Yeah.
No one on the American version in the 5 seasons they've done of it has sung their own song.
Huh. I mean, I feel as though that would be giving it away.
None of the panelists guessed Viking correctly in the UK version, even though he sang his own song, and said the name of the band he was in 3 times in disguise.
I mean, you're not going to expect them to do that. That's a move you can only do like once.
Well, once in a blue moon, yeah. Anyway, this is shall we put an end to the rambling?
Yes, we've hit the 20-minute mark and we haven't started talking about Taskmaster yet. We are on form today.
Well, we've done better in the past. We've done worse in the past, actually.
Yep.
Anyway, the series 2, episode 5, finale of fucking hell. The series 2 finale of Taskmaster is There's Strength in Archers.
Strength in Archers.
How graceful was that?
About as graceful as any of these tasks.
Yeah. But before the prize tasks, we should talk about Greg and Alex's banter, because this is quite interesting. Greg agrees to be Alex's godfather.
He does. He signs an official-looking piece of paper.
And I mentioned this on Reddit a couple months ago, but when Series 10 was airing, when Greg does like his introductory speech for Alex at the start of an episode during Series 10, he says some like really nice things about Alex for a change, when he's normally very rude and belittling to him. But after the applause, Greg says, "Oh, sorry, I was reading the speech I had written for my godson's wedding. But Alex is his godson."
I mean, they probably forgot that joke,
I mean, most likely, but Taskmaster has law, right?
Maybe.
There is law within Taskmaster, and we will find some more as we go through the show. Anyway, yes, I believe you're taking the prize task today?
Yes, I am. So today's prize task was Best Piece of Memorabilia. And as with a lot of these, we're going to have some discussion over what the definition of stuff is. Because John first brought in a Roman coin that he found in his garden. He's had this for at least 20 years, and he claims it fascinates him that, this was used to buy like a gourd or something like that in Roman times. Considering it's England, it's presumably like ancient Londinium or something like that. But
because everything in England is fucking ancient as shit.
Mm-hmm. You have a very old
Even
island.
The newborn babies, fucking ancient as shit.
Yes, but he's had this for at least 20 years. According to Alex, 20 of these can be bought on eBay for £8. So but
worth borderline nothing.
It's worth nothing, but
well,
also
it's not worth nothing. It's worth borderline nothing.
What's 20 divided by 8?
Fucking, I don't know.
Do some math while I keep talking. But the thing is that I don't think that really matters, because this is like memorabilia. And memorabilia, it doesn't need to have a price. The problem here, though, is that a coin is
you mean
not
8 divided 20 for £8?
Yes, however much a per unit price is. But
hang on,
it's a
40p per coin.
Ah, yes. It doesn't matter that it's worth nothing, or 40 pence in this instance, but presumably. But the problem is that it's a coin. Coins aren't really memorabilia. Which, speaking of things that aren't memorabilia, Joe Wilkinson brought in a map of the Grand Union Canal, signed by Clive Hutt, the asthmatic lockkeeper. This is just some bullshit. This is Wilkinson looking at... Because Joe Wilkinson seems like the kind of guy who would have a trophy room full of shit that's like memorabilia. Like, he seems like the kind of guy who would have like an original, like all the Star Wars action figures from the 80s, sealed in their original packaging and never play with them. And he probably took a look at his vast collection of stuff and went, nope, not giving any of this away, and got some bullshit. It's kind of sucky. It's really kind of sucky. But then we go on to Richard Osman, and you're going to have to give me some cultural instruction here, because Richard Osman brought in an autographed Jockey Wilson card.
I'm sorry, did you come to me with the expectation that I knew everything?
Who or what is Jockey Wilson?
To be honest, I know nothing about Jockey Wilson until I pulled up his Wikipedia page just now, and I can see why both Richard and Greg are big fans of him. Jockey Wilson, who lived from the 22nd of March 1950 to the 24th of March 2012, was a Scottish professional darts player. After turning pro in 1979, he quickly rose to the top of the game, winning the World Professional Darts Championships in 1982, then again in 1989. Because if we remember, Richard is a huge darts fan, as is Greg.
Okay.
And I think that's why both were so giddy with excitement to see this, I guess.
Okay. And
sorry.
No.
I'm so boring tonight. Got to get my game on.
Do some cocaine or something. But no, Jockey Wilson apparently was a very good darts.
Is that what that white stuff that guy in the street yesterday gave me?
No, he saw you coming. That was merely icing sugar.
What have I done?
But anyways, that is actual memorabilia. That is actual memorabilia, which we're gonna have to go through a lot of this. Then we have from Catherine a coin. It's almost a badge, but it's more of a coin. A women's suffrage coin given to her by a woman from Dagenham. Which, actually, women's suffrage is going to be a recurring theme tonight. Yeah. Strangely enough. But that should be the episode title. Women's suffrage is a recurring theme tonight.
It's too wordy.
Oh, you're no fun. But we should...
I think we need to let the titles come naturally.
Yeah. I still have Jockey Wilson's Wikipedia page open. He was a constant sweet eater and generally refused to brush his teeth. In quote, in parentheses, my gran told me the English poisoned the water. He had lost his last tooth by the age of 28 following his 1982 world title win. He paid £1,200 for dentures but never took to them. They made him belch when drinking, he complained. What a human being. Greg probably loves this man.
Greg Davies is a unit himself, who you can tell by... Oh, sorry, I just hit my microphone. Who you can tell by his magnificent physique, eats a lot of food.
Yeah. But, Catherine got a woman's suffrage coin, and it is a coin that's like... This is from the 1920s sort of thing, when women were, like, fighting for the right to vote. And you know, there's not a lot of like stuff around this one. There is a lot of stuff around what Doc brought in, which is it's a framed rap album he wrote for a famous classical pianist whom I don't know who this person is, and I don't know how to say her name right. Is it Mylene Klass?
Yeah, that's it.
Who is she?
Oh God, I should know this.
You live in the same country.
Yes, but I don't know everything about everyone.
I do. You should learn.
Yeah, but that's because most people outside of other cultures take more interest in other people's cultures than the people of the cultures they're interested in taking themselves. Mylene Klass is a British singer, presenter, musician, model, and businesswoman. She was a member of the pop group Hearsay, and later released two solo singles. Two solo classical crossover albums in 2003 and 2007.
Presumably one of those, then.
What does she do? Well, what's something recent I would know her from?
Look that up while I explain this. Doc wrote this for her. I believe he was asked to. Was he asked to? Or
yeah, I think he was on. I think he was definitely approached with the idea about it,
and then he wrote it.
Mylene Klass hosted the incredibly short-lived "I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here" USA.
I don't know what that is.
Do you know? Have you heard of "I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here"?
No.
Oh wow, you've got a lot to learn, my friend.
About what?
"I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here" is one of the biggest British shows of the 21st century.
I thought that was Bake Off.
Also that, but I'm a Celebrity. It's a yearly event hosted in Australia, with the exception of last year because of COVID. It happened in some castle in Wales. But basically, what happens is they'll get, say, like a group of celebrities somewhere in the range of like, I don't know, 10 to 16. And they'll send them into the jungle or castle now because of last year. And they'll be forced to endure like a bunch of like insects or terrifying challenges. Basically things that are disgusting and terrifying.
So it's Celebrity Fear Factor.
In Fear Factor, do they have to say a secret code word? And well, not a code word, and then that gets them kicked off the show?
You can just pussy out in Fear Factor. I think I watched it once.
I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here is like a last person standing thing. If you say I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here, you're kicked off the show.
It seems like the kind of show.
And whoever wins is crowned king or queen of the jungle. I'm not going to add in factor in the castle into that. Maybe just king and queen on that one series. Or king and queen of the castle. I don't know.
I genuinely don't like TV shows like that. It's like there's like TV shows like Naked and Afraid that they have where it's like, we dropped some naked people into a jungle to see how well they'd survive, and it's like, this is dumb. Everyone is dumb. No one should do this. But anyways, Doc wrote an album for Mylene Klass, who hosted I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here USA edition.
I mean, that's not her most famous thing, but
we just talked about it. Of course, it's her most famous thing. Anyways, he wrote a rap song for her. She transcribed that rap song into like notes and verse. I don't know the correct musical terms.
And I guess it would be verses, I suppose.
Verse, whatever. It's sheet music now. And she wrote him a note on it, and Doc said that the basic gist of the note was never speak to me again. But it was done very politely. And that's actual merch. That's actual memorabilia. If you are, in fact, a Mylene Klass fan. Which
Doc wasn't, but I mean, he probably was, but maybe
he seemed like he said he liked her quite a lot. So that's good. That's good for him that he got something from his his idol at that point in time. But Greg is very Greg obviously now we go into scoring. Greg obviously gave first place to Richard Osman
and
for
Jockey
obvious
Wilson,
reason.
Which sent Catherine really over the edge.
Catherine was deeply upset.
Especially after Greg said, if you think women are more... before I say this, I should say I'm quoting... Actually, I'm not even going to say this. I'm going to let Greg say it.
If you think that women are more important than Jockey Wilson, come to me.
Yep. And then... he did, in fact, put Catherine's women's suffrage coin below Jockey. And so
this made Catherine upset.
She was deeply upset, although this is not her most angry feminist rant we will have today.
Nope. Stick around to the end, people.
Mm-hmm. And then he gave
third to John. Weirdly.
I mean, it's actually pretty neat. It's certainly neater than the other stuff. Actually, I think the Doc's thing is pretty neat, but, it's certainly better than Clive Hutt's signature.
I don't know how this got more than Doc's, to be honest, because...
I mean, I guess Greg doesn't like Mylene Klass.
I guess so. I mean... Do I not like Mylene? I mean, I'm very impartial to Mylene Klass.
But, then...
Joe Wilkinson.
Dead last. Like he deserves.
That's not fair. Joe Wilkinson is a good, funny bloke.
Not this task specifically. Oh. This is nothing else about the rest of the thing. Specifically this one.
All right. Shall I drop the Taskmaster Joe intro, or are you...
You can do it right now.
Taskmaster Joe. Take it away.
And right, so obviously an autographed Jockey Wilson card is obviously that's the winner. That's the top one because it's an autographed merch. That's number one. Then number two is Doc because that's like one of those memorabilia things that like you could sell that and frame it and get it authenticated. That's actual quality top tier memorabilia right there.
I can see that.
If Mylene Klass were like some international celebrity that I actually knew about, it might have even gone higher. Then I gave Catherine third because, we're treading the line here that we have to ask, what is historical artifact versus memorabilia? Like, memorabilia implies that it's like, I got this thing signed by someone, as opposed to, this is a historical artifact. Women's suffrage, the concept, cannot sign its name.
I guess not, but I feel like I mentioned. I think there's an issue similar to this in Series 10. Well, I think it's a bit more in line with the task than Catherine's coin is. Not saying Catherine's coin particularly strays away from the memorabilia too much to the point where it could just about be considered. But have you seen Series 10?
No.
Well, there's a contestant, Daisy Mae Cooper, hilarious woman.
No, I know who I'm aware of the season, but I'm trying to keep it fresh for when we do the podcast.
Okay. Do you want to
sure.
Plug your fingers in your ears and?
Nah, I don't care. I'll forget it.
Okay, so this is a bit hazy because I haven't seen Series 10 since it came out, basically. But what Daisy Mae Cooper is for a specific task, I think it's like something to do with like clothing related. But what she does is she brings in like a woman's panty liner, I think she calls it, kind of thing. Either way, it's something for like something along the lines of periods, I believe. And she essentially says to Greg, if you put this any lower than first place, you will be deemed a sexist pig or something along those lines. What Greg
does? His response, oink, oink?
No, I can't remember off the top of my head. If we ever get round to Series 10 and we come to this moment, I'll probably drop in this moment here and put like an echoey effect on it.
And then the live studio audience will laugh at you. Because we'd better get a live studio audience by season 10.
Not even the actual Series 10 had a live studio audience.
Mm-hmm.
Because COVID.
Yeah, I know. That's the joke.
Oh, okay. Anyway, how are we doing for time? Okay.
Yes, and then obviously just to round things out, I'm giving John fourth place because if Catherine's was on the verge of being a historical artifact, his is on the historical artifact, and it's currency, which currency can be memorabilia. This not so much. This specific one, and then obviously Joe gets last place.
Fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, my turn to talk about a task now.
Yes.
The first VT task. As always, I've copied and pasted the basic word tasking from the Taskmaster wiki into my notes, so they won't always read exactly what's on the task itself. Place supplied items into a shopping trolley on the other side of a stream. Pretty simple.
In the actual task, they say, because I write them verbatim from the episode, get all this shopping into the shopping trolley, fastest wins.
Yeah, so Catherine is shown first. Catherine's very no nonsense in this task.
Well, before we get into the task, we do need to talk about what everyone did before they started reading it, because Osman specifically did something genius, even though it didn't work for him.
No, it was completely unnecessary what he did. In fact, what he did kind of made it harder, but not much. Osman basically, because among the assortment of items, there's like some like loaves of bread, some sponges, some tin cans, and a blow-up air mattress with a pump. and Richard Osman pumped up the air mattress before doing anything. But he
pumped up the air mattress before he even opened the task. Because he figured it would be relevant. Because how this was laid out is there's a pile of shopping on one side of a stream, and I don't know where this park is. And it's somewhere in London. And then there's a shopping cart on the other side of the stream. And, it's between bridges, so there's no direct bridge. So, I
just realized I didn't ask you what you bring in for the prize task.
I don't know. What would you bring in? But
we'll talk. I'll talk about it very quickly. Well, we're literally more disjointed than I don't know. What's disjointed? A broken skeleton?
Yeah.
Okay. Does it count as memorabilia if you haven't met the person?
I don't understand.
Well, what I have is, for my 15th birthday, my best friend got me a poster signed by... Are you aware of the ASDF movies or ASDF movies?
Oh, you got a Tomska poster?
I did get a Tomska poster, and my friend got it me for my birthday.
A new ASDF movie came out like 4 days ago, right?
I did. It was good. Wouldn't say it was my favorite ASDF movie ever.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're kind of going down, but
having said that, the one before that, the one before that was actually really pretty good.
Yeah. But
anyway, that's probably my best bit of memorabilia. It's signed by the primary people who worked on ASDF movie. And it just says, "Happy birthday, Emerson, you're awesome," at the bottom.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think
that's my little
story. I met William Shatner at a Comic-Con, and I got a signed picture. I met Brett Spiner at a different Comic-Con. I got a picture and his autograph, and then I've met Adam Savage off the Mythbusters twice.
Woo.
So I didn't get his signature, but I got to shake his hand and meet him and speak to him. So that's different. That's up there. And then do you like watch Dungeons and Dragons or anything like that?
I've always wanted to try playing Dungeons and Dragons. I've not really had anyone, or not really been able to find anyone who's particularly interested yet.
Okay. Well, I was going to say no, because my brother's really into that, much more than I am, and we went to a convention and we met Matthew Mercer and the people from a D&D series called Critical Role, and so I got to meet them too. And it's like that some people are wowed by that, but you've really got to be like within that ecosystem. So maybe the picture, I'd bring in one of those pictures.
Okay. Sorry, folks, for that weird jump.
Yeah, just to briefly get this out here before so I can finish stepping on your toes. Pile of shopping on one side of the river, shopping cart on the other side of the river. The shopping cart has its wheels taken off, and you've got to get all the piles of shit from the pile of shopping into the cart fast as possible. Just really quick.
Okay. Anyway, I think I'm just going to get right into what the contestants did now.
Yeah.
Catherine is first. Like I said before, very no nonsense. What she does is she wraps up some of the stuff in the airbed, walks over one of the two bridges. Keep in mind, there's two bridges. She dumps the stuff in the trolley, and then she hopes to move the trolley back around to get the rest of the stuff, but realizes the wheels on the trolley have been taken off. So she has to run back and bring the remaining things back. But this time she walks through the water and throws it straight into the trolley.
Yeah, the wheels on the cart have been taken off of the cart. Like, they've been unscrewed. So it looks like they're on, and then you push it.
The shopping trolley basically just won't move.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Well, it can move, but not super easily. You'd have to really force it.
Mm-hmm. Looking at you, Osman.
Catherine does it pretty quickly. 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Yeah, that's really all I had to say about Catherine. Doc was a little more interesting. He starts just throwing stuff right over the river, basically. And some of his stuff actually does get into the trolley, but some of it doesn't.
Doesn't he collect everything in sacks first and then throws the sacks?
No, he starts by throwing stuff in. And then once he's thrown about somewhere between a third and half of the stuff, he picks it all up and then just sprints through the water and dumps it in the trolley.
Okay.
He didn't see the bridges, although it kind of mattered, but I don't know.
It's a really funny reveal in the studio because
it's like there's a bridge there. He sees, and then he says, "Oh shit, there's another bridge."
Yeah, because they'd been framing the camera shots and the editing up until this point so that you only saw the one bridge. And then when Doc realizes he's seen another one, they cut to a different camera angle, and it's looking down the opposite way of the river, and there's another bridge, and it's a really funny reveal. And then, of course, in the studio, he says, "I can't see bridges."
Yeah. Poor man. He was like, he actually calls Alex dude in exasperation of not being able to see the bridges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does.
And no, according to Alex, no one has ever called him dude before.
Yeah, we should just put that clip in right here.
I'll never go back, even though the decision was terrible.
I mean, Doc did get the job done, right?
He finished in 4 minutes and 24 seconds, which is almost twice as long as Catherine.
But, dude, how did I not see the bridges? That's what...
Did you call me dude? No one has ever called me dude.
I'm deeply troubled by the clip.
Sometimes you don't see bridges.
But what also goes against Doc is the fact that the poor man, unbeknowingly dropped a tin can in the river and didn't notice it. So he's technically disqualified, I think. Or
yeah,
not?
he is disqualified because he
he's
did not get all of the shopping into the cart.
And yeah, but he does it in 4 minutes 24 seconds, but it doesn't matter because he failed to get everything in. John, I think, is paired up with Doc in terms of viewing.
Doc and John are paired, and then everyone else is done individually because they both took the same approach of
because John also starts by hurling stuff in. And does John walk through the water or over the bridges?
Through the water.
Okay, so
he starts like shoving stuff into his pockets.
Yeah, so it goes well. He was faster than Doc, but slower than Catherine. 3 minutes 14. But he walks away with 2 sponges under his arm, so he hasn't completed the whole task.
Yeah, he left them in his pockets. They're sticking out. They're really difficult to not notice. But
did he not? I was thinking, did he not notice at the time, or
not care? Both are possible.
Yeah, but because he must have not noticed it, because if he knew about it, he would have just picked them up and thrown them in. It would literally have it might not have even taken him 1 second.
Yeah, I think he just didn't remember.
That's why I think he was so embarrassed to sort of like mention it. It was like when Alex brings it up saying like, but there was a thing. John's just like, nope.
John Richardson not realizing things is another theme of this episode.
Oh, no, I mean, that's not kind of true. With the last task, John realizes it, but in a moment when the big problem and no one else does, but it doesn't really matter at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, poor John, he's disqualified because he must have forgotten about those sponges. There's literally no way he could have known they were there and not known they were there and not thrown them in like something that wouldn't have taken him more than 2 seconds. Anyway, Joe Wilkinson just grabs a load of stuff and just wades through the water and hurls it onto the bank by the trolley. He gets everything over to the bank, then on the other side, then hauls himself up and just starts throwing him in. It's a very good method.
Yeah.
And it's not much to say. He got everything in 1 minute 52.
And then there's Richard motherfucking Osmond, strongman extraordinaire.
So what Richard does is he goes over to the other side immediately with nothing.
Well, after he inflates the inflatable mattress.
Yeah, he does that. It literally has no effect whatsoever. I mean, like literally, it means nothing that he did that. So he goes over to the other side, gets the trolley, and hurls it, and tries to hurl it back to the other side. It doesn't make it, sadly. But he's able to pull it out, and just starts loading in everything very quickly. And in the studio, Greg and Richard both talk as very tall men. That as tall men, they're expected to be very kind and gentle individuals. But he was glad to see Richard breaking that stereotype by hurling that trolley with all his might.
Mm-hmm.
And as also two very tall men, although not quite Greg and Richard tall, would you have done the same? Would you have held the trolley, or would you not have thought of it?
I would have picked up the trolley and carried it.
You would have picked up the trolley and carried it?
Yeah.
That might have been... I think that would have been pretty slow, if I'm being honest.
It's a shopping cart. It can't be more than 20 pounds. Weight-wise. It's not that heavy. Pick it up, stick it over your head, and wade through the river. Especially once you realize that the wheels have caught.
I thought you were gonna run over the bridge with it.
No, direct route. I would have taken my shoes off.
I think I would have just hurled it like Richard did, but it might have been more. I would have probably built up a little bit more momentum.
Yeah, you would have put more oomph on it.
Yeah. Richard's method's not bad. He does it just behind Joe, and it lands him second place.
Yeah, he does it 159. Joe did 152.
So Joe gets 5 points, Richard gets 4, Catherine gets 3, and Doc and John disqualified, so get nothing. Which means the overall scores are Richard is on 9, Catherine 7, Joe on 6, John on 3, and Doc on 2. Would you have done? Can you do Taskmaster Joe for this one? I don't think so.
No,
because it's time based, and
yeah,
there's not a whole lot you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think it's your turn to talk about this task, and I'm excited about this one.
Yes,
I love this one.
This one is a team task. The task is make the best stop-motion film starring this potato. Your time starts now. Now, so they have a potato. Again, we're keeping with the potato theme. And a camera, and they just have to make a 1-minute stop-motion film featuring the potato. And the teams are, of course, Joe, Catherine, Doc versus Richard and John. And
no, Richard and his son.
Richard and Richard's son.
Yep.
I apologize. But anyways, they were thinking, how many pictures does it have to be? And as it turns out, a lot, because I think it's like 800 or something, because you have to do, in the UK, it's going to be 25 frames. I think it's 25 frames a second. No, that's video frames. I don't know what it is for stop motion, because stop motion, there's actually a couple sweet spots of
like super high quality stop motion stuff, like Coraline, like big Hollywood stop motion films like Coraline, Nightmare Before Christmas, and maybe even MODOK. I think they're all 24 frames per second.
Yeah, hold on. Stop motion film. God damn. Yeah, I think it is 24. Well, it is 24 frames per second, is what you're supposed to do.
So that 24. Means they're only shooting around 5 seconds of footage a day.
800 divided by, again, great content here.
Yep.
Yes, I think they're doing like 12 frames a second or something like that.
In their films here.
Yes, in their films, because
I doubt that very much. I think it's somewhere in the lines of like. I think it varies. I don't think any of them are more than like 8 frames a second.
Alex recommended 800 because that 800 divided by 12 is about 66 seconds.
Okay.
So 800 pictures, 12 frames a second. So yeah, something along those lines.
Can we talk about I know you're talking about this task, but can I just quickly mention some of the titles that John and Richard suggested for their film?
Yes, please. I didn't have them written down.
Richard suggested Mash in the Attic, and that's a parody of a show called Cash in the Attic, or it's a play on that title.
Yeah.
I do not know for the life of me what Cash in the Attic's about.
It's like Antiques Roadshow.
Oh, yeah, okay.
People show up with garbage and get told it's either worthless or worth a gazillion dollars.
Okay. Good title. You can keep talking now.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah. I hope you get the rest of the because both films have pun titles.
Oh, I do. Okay. But they start filming this. I didn't catch what camera brand they used. I think it was like a Canon or a Nikon, not a Canon or a Sony, but wasn't a Nikon. I used a Nikon, but it's very interesting because they're filming them making the film, and you actually get to see them acting like themselves instead of putting on an act, because it's a lot of like actual behind the scenes stuff and them making the film, because they have an hour. They have they have an hour to do this, which my camera, because I have a Nikon Z6. I have a Nikon Z6 camera. If I set it to its highest shutter speed mode, I can do maybe 1,000 shots in 45 minutes. But that's with tracking. That's with just holding the shutter button down and tracking moving subjects. But I've never done stop motion. It seems like it's a pain in the ass. But anyways, the films are eventually shown. Joe, Catherine, and Doc's film is called Spectator, which is a play on words, both on the word spectator, and also probably because I think the James Bond film Spectre came out around this time.
And also tater is slang for potato in the UK.
Yes. It's slang for potato in the English-speaking world.
Can I just say, I don't know why you're talking... this is what I want to say, but this was... Why? I don't know why you're talking about this film first, because they showed it second of the two.
I had it written down in my notes in this way.
But I just want to say, though, this film, especially the audio for it, especially if you play... Because, like I said, I watched the episodes on a little bit of a faster speed. To go by quicker. If you play this on like 1.5 times the speed, it is quite possibly the funniest thing I've ever heard.
The funniest thing I've ever heard is when I was doing the audio editing for our podcast. I was doing the video editing for our podcast the other week, and I realized that I too can set our podcast to 1.5 times speed, so I don't have to listen to the entire thing.
Oh no, that doesn't.
When I'm doing
that pitches up the speed.
I know that's funnier. That's funnier. Yeah. Hearing you and me at sound like we're sucking on helium.
We should imagine if we did an entire episode on helium. Anyway,
we'd die. You're not supposed to like the helium voice thing is actually like you're not supposed to do it more than a couple of times at once, because then you start to fuck with your lungs.
Okay.
Because it's like you're ingesting pure helium.
Last one to die wins.
No. I'm not even entertaining that joke. We're going to keep right on moving. But yes.
You don't like the prospect of doing it?
Last one to die. Whoever lives longest wins is not a contest I intend on participating in.
Not like the Hunger Games.
No.
Forget the Hunger Games. We'll have the Helium Games.
Did you? The Helium Games. That's a great one.
That'll be the title of this episode.
That's the title. I knew that. Did you read the Hunger Games books?
I read like half the first one, and because and I just like couldn't keep going with it. Maybe
I had to read
day.
it for. I read all 3 of them. I liked the first one, and then they sucked after that. They really just sort of went downhill. But anyways, literary discussion over because you haven't read them. So I was going to be like, I could have gone on for a while about the Hunger Games, but anyways, Spectator features a spy potato versus an evil potato masher. Now, naturally, in a group with Catherine Ryan, who sounds like an American, which would have been a fun choice, and Doc Brown, who sounds relatively suave. Naturally, the spy voice is done by Joe Wilkinson, who tries absolutely nothing but his own voice.
I want Joe Wilkinson to do a spy movie.
He could. Can you just drop any clip of Spectator?
I'm going to play the whole clip. I might even play it twice. Once on regular speed and once on 1.5 times the speed.
Oh no.
Because literally, when I played it on 1.5 times the speed, I think I replayed it a grand total of 6 times.
Okay, so we're gonna do it the full speed now.
Okay, I'm not falling. La 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 la. Walking down the corridor. Stadium skirting. Silly.
Ah, Mr. Spud.
You're a knob, mate.
As always, you're in the right place at the right time, Mr. Spud.
Huh?
I know you don't require one of these martinis I have here.
Yeah, if you like.
Because you are already smashed!
Oh, Lord. Never mind.
Smashed!
It's a pun, wasn't it?
Yes, it's a pun.
Oh, piss off.
Never mind. Ugh, I got him.
Okay.
And now we're going to do the 1.5 times speed now.
Okay, I'm not falling. La 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 la. Walking down the corridor. Stadium skirting. Silly.
Ah, Mr. Spud.
You're a knob, mate.
As always, you're in the right place at the right time, Mr. Spud.
Huh?
I know you don't require one of these martinis I have here.
Yeah, if you like.
Because you are already smashed!
Oh, Lord. Never mind.
Smashed!
It's a pun, wasn't it?
Yes, it's a pun.
Oh, piss off.
Never mind. Ugh, I got him.
Let us know in the comments which one you preferred.
Or email us at ytsnpod@gmail.com.
I might just delete me saying lettuce at the beginning.
We'll just get some bacon and tomato, and then you can have a sandwich.
BLT.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
and then of course at the end, as you just heard, in this, at the end of this, then they go very Monty Python, and the Spectator himself gets smushed by Catherine's high heel shoes.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know why. Does it matter? Not really.
Well, Catherine said she wants to be the first female potato James Bond.
I thought she wanted...
She says she wants to be the first female potato James Bond.
Ah.
Which is honestly not very difficult.
It in fact is not. But they were also complimented on their very smooth potato movement.
Literally though, I just want Joe to like just be a spy now and recreate something.
Oh my god! But yeah, their potato.
La 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 la, walking down the corridor.
My god!
And then when he meets his mortal enemy, he says, "Ah, piss off." Honestly, if all James Bond films were like this, I'd be very entertained.
I just wish the James Bond movies were campy again. I want Roger Moore. I want more of that.
Roger Moore's dead.
I know that, but I want more of that style of film.
Okay. I mean, Skyfall was pretty good. Spectre.
No.
No,
they really weren't that great. They're really too gritty, and for my taste, I want like, Octopussy and stuff, and like and movies of that era, and they're just so much fun. They're so much fun. Oh, and which is the one with Christopher Walken?
I don't know.
You never.
Man.
What?
I don't know.
It's the one after Octopussy with the blimp. I just can't remember the name. It's in San Francisco. But
A View to Kill. I think.
That one. Those are great. I love those ones.
Do you know what really pisses me off about James Bond?
No.
There was no James Bond film released in 2007. Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second.
I know. No, I know where you're going with that, but I'm fairly certain that they didn't do that because weren't they switching between Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig at that point?
Well, no. I'll for the record, a Bond film came out in 2006, and one came out in 2008, which makes it a bit more annoying.
007, I guess.
What would Joe Wilkinson's code name for Bond be?
00 dipshit.
00 potato.
It's just potato, but there's like 2 O's at the end.
Oh, it's
Potato 7.
That's a good one. So the last Pierce Brosnan Bond was Die Another Day,
which was 2003?
2002.
With Halle Berry.
And Casino Royale was Daniel Craig's first Bond film, and that was 2006.
And
then
what's amazing
Quantum
is that neither of those were that great.
And Quantum of Solace was 2008. So no Bond film in 2007, which real missed opportunity.
I'm sure they had plenty of times to joke about that when they were filming.
Skyfall was 2012, Spectre was 2015, and No Time to Die will come out whenever COVID lets it.
No Time to Die was supposed to come out 2019. And let's just sink in, it is July 4th weekend, 2021.
Oh, sorry, I hit my mic. Let's see when No Time to Die is planning to come out.
December. They're aiming for around Christmas.
The release date for the UK, according to this thing here, is the 30th of September, 2021 in the UK.
Excellent. Which is earlier than I thought it would be. People have actually had time to die between when this movie was supposed to come out and when it has come out.
Yeah, especially with COVID and stuff.
Yes.
I hope to God
indeed.
this movie will be worth it.
It won't be. This is going to be like one of the bigger complaints about A View to a Kill, which is one of Roger Moore's last Bond movies, is that he was very old in that, and he's playing a role. They'd sort of written A View to a Kill to be for a younger Bond that they would have introduced, but there was some whole bullshit with because they were originally going to get Pierce Brosnan then, but his TV commitments kept him from doing that, and so they had to get Timothy Dalton. So Roger Moore did another film, and then Timothy Dalton did after that. And I think that's how it went. And they might have just kept on Roger Moore for one more movie, anyways.
I mean, I'm not really the biggest Bond fan.
But the whole thing is that A View to a Kill, it really does look like Bond and everyone else at MI6 was supposed to be played by younger actors, and they just weren't. Because everybody else in the movie is much younger. Like Christopher Walken's barely 30 in that. Grace Jones is immortal, and whoever they had playing the girl in that one was young enough to be Roger Moore's daughter.
Damn.
So it's like, they really did have everyone in this movie be a little bit too old, and that was actually what inspired Roger Moore to retire from the role. Is that he did not wish to be in a role where he was old enough to have fathered the girl he is ostensibly dating in the movie.
Speaking of groundbreaking films, a film where potatoes break through the ground, and
that is the best bad transition I've heard yet.
It was. It
was really good. It was really good, but it's definitely a groaner. But as are
it
actually
works,
the
though.
potatoes.
I don't care how bad it is. It worked.
Yes, Richard and John did 28 Days Tater,
parody of 28
which is, of
Days
course,
Later.
The 28 Days Later movie. It's a potato-based horror movie featuring Alex, who was murdered by a mutant potato. Which basically the potato rises out of the ground, makes his way into the house, discovers that Alex is peeling a potato, which naturally this goes over swimmingly.
Threatens to fuck him up. No, it doesn't threaten to. He fucks him up anyway.
Actually fucks him up. And then Alex is killed, and then other potatoes pop out of the ground, and it is presumed that they are going to go create havoc because they have learned that they need to commit violence against non-potatoes.
That's a very delicate way of putting it.
Yeah, but in fact, they are going to go commit acts of violence against non-potatoes. Yeah. So Greg gives 28 Days Tater 3 points each for John and Richard, and Joe, Catherine, and Doc gets 2 points each for Spectator. I apologize. There's not a lot to talk about for a 28 Days Tater.
Other than the fact that Alex looked up when someone knocked on the door.
Yes, Alex took the initiative, and when they told him to look left and right when someone answered the door, he also looked up. Critically, he did not look down, which would have saved his fictional life.
Do you want to do Taskmaster Joe for this, or do you agree?
I agree. Okay. I actually might have given them lower points for Spectator because Joe Wilkinson's voice acting really does not quite sell it. It's we're getting into Tree Wizard territory here. There's a level of lack of effort that really starts to piss me off as opposed to actually make me laugh.
No, I'll tell you though, obviously Tree Wizard will always have a special place in my heart, as it will in most other people's hearts too. But I don't know, I just, like I said, Spectator made me unironically laugh my head off, but I wouldn't call it as impressive.
It's also it just didn't work for me. I did like their inventiveness with the potato masher being a villain.
If you listen to the official Taskmaster podcast with Ed Gamble, who still needs to fight us, come out with your hands up.
Or at least email us, Gamble.
Anyway, on that episode, Richard Osman came back to talk about the Series 2 final. And Ed said to Richard's face, he would have given more points to Catherine's team than his and John's team. And I can't remember exactly for what reasons, but I think it included the fact that theirs was a little more like jaunty, and Alex didn't need to be stop motion because he was a live action human.
Well, that's bullshit. You can't mix live action and stop motion unless you've got a really long time to edit something together like that. That's bullshit.
I mean,
that's bullshit.
I mean, you can always green screen it.
They had an hour. You've got to do it in camera.
Well, I say one of them doesn't matter. But hybrid films do exist.
They do exist, but in the time frame they are given, with the materials they have, doing a hybrid live-action stop-motion film, even for that short little clip, would have ended very badly for them, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been... Also, I can see it would have been technologically impressive, but also might not have been in total guideline with the task.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we do the scores?
Yeah.
So I mentioned John and Richard got 3 points each, and the other 3 got 2 points each, which means Richard's on 12, Catherine's on 9, Joe's on 8, John's on 6, and Doc is on 4.
And now we come on to the most evil task ever.
This is would I call it? I don't know. Would I call this evil? Maybe.
Yes.
I definitely call it the sneakiest task.
No. I call this one actually. This is like evil. This is like okay.
I know I'm taking the reins on this one, but I still may need your help because my notes for this one are honestly really poor.
Yeah. So
so anyway, the task is.
I wrote it down. I wrote it down verbatim. Do you want me to do that?
Before that, I'll just explain what the setup is. So there's like a little miniature layout of the Taskmaster house, presumably geographically incorrectly too close to the River Thames. And
also, it's presuming that a canal boat can easily go down the Thames because there's a little canal boat called the boat is called the Debayo de la Mesa, which we'll come to in a minute.
Yeah, and the Thames, for the record, is not a canal.
Yeah.
But anyway, the task is to build the highest freestanding bridge to support a potato. That's actually the second potato-themed task today. Using only the supplied items.
No, using only the items on the table. That's very important.
Yeah. Joe Wilkinson thought he had to support the pony. Because he got lazy and didn't read the whole thing, and
because there on the table there's a bunch of different stuff, like there's straws, matchsticks, playing cards, rubber bands, spaghetti, a model pony, gum, and 2 model cows, as well as a small model of the actual Taskmaster house, which you are not allowed to touch.
Don't know why you say you can't touch it.
Because that is the largest self-supporting structure in the thing, and you could probably... When Alex probably play-tested this, or whatever he does to test out how these works, you could probably take that building apart and do something with this. Because actually, I'm just going to get this out of the way at the front. My initial thought for this would have been that I would have destroyed the diorama and like used bits of like the grass and everything as bridge supports.
Okay.
If I hadn't found the evilly hidden materials.
Should we talk about those very quick because they do so quite early on.
Yeah.
So
what
exactly was written on the boat again?
Debayo de la Mesa, which for those of you who speak Spanish, you don't need to shout out what it actually means. We'll tell you what it means. It means look under the table.
Yeah, and John, before we say what exactly was under the table, John Richardson pointed out the boat's name, and
he just thought it was a boat called Under the Table.
And now that he realizes, oh shit, there might have been something under the table after the task was done. And
he's just so quietly upset.
It wasn't just the boat that had a clue either. It was also there was also like a doorbell kind of style button down
on the side of the table.
Yeah, and no one knew what it did when they pressed it, but it actually lit up a sign that said in English, "Look under the table."
Although in defense to them, it was on the camera side of the table.
Yeah, but there's nothing stopping them from walking around and seeing it.
No. So they missed that, and then
above the door, there's also a sign that, sorry, again in English reads "Look under the table."
Which that one is actually blurred out in the VT until the reveal. Because if you look at it, because otherwise they would have given it away
too easy. It would have been too. Because it's like it's definitely one of those once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
So what exactly was under the table that was so important?
Wood, scissors, and tape.
Like
exactly
good quality
what
wood
you need to build a bridge. Like wooden dowel rods, masking tape, and scissors, which would have made everything so much easier.
Very super sneaky. Such a shame no one noticed it.
Yeah, and then they even spoke with Susie Dent of the television show fame, who said that even though they were underneath the table, they were in physical contact with the table, so the "on" statement in the rules do qualify. I think the only way that this could have been any more evil is if someone had discovered the things and then realized that they were under the table, not on it, and then decided not to use them.
Woo.
I
don't know who would want to do that, because
I feel like someone like maybe like Joe or John, maybe
Joe
Catherine,
or Joe or John. I didn't know there were two Joes competing this series.
Yeah, Joe or John or Catherine, maybe, because Osmond would have worked it out immediately, and I don't think Doc would have cared.
The thing is,
but they would have looked at it, gone, "Oh wait, these are under the table. We can't use these."
No, but because the thing is, when John revealed that the boat's name translated to under the table,
yeah,
literally everyone looked stunned and shocked.
Mm-hmm.
It could be fake. Who knows? But Taskmaster doesn't strike me as the sort of show that would encourage fake reactions.
No, they were legit pissed off.
So, yeah.
But they also had to go through the entire nonsense of actually putting together these useless bridges.
So, anyway, no one used the amazingly useful materials under/on the table. They just went for what was on top of the table. So John, what was John's like again? I didn't make note because I'm abysmal.
So John's first thing he did was he was going to use chewing gum as some kind of like as some sort of like glue product, because there was chewing gum on the table.
Do you have blue tack in America?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. But the problem is that he hates chewed gum, even gum he chewed himself. So he was like, "Yuck! This is disgusting. I don't like this." And he was grossing himself out. His bridge is, let me see, I have this written down.
It was 11.4 fruit pastels, if that's what you're trying to...
It was 11, fruit pastel being an Alex Horn unit of measurement for centimeters. But, Jesus Christ, did I not write down John's bridge? No, John... No, I did. No, I did not. I did not write down what John's bridge was. What the fuck? But he, I think, made his out of the play. He made use of the matchsticks and the spaghetti, I believe, as well as the playing cards and the where he sort of used those as the abutments and then put it on spaghetti. You keep talking for a brief second. I'm going to pull up the episode.
Okay,
because
so
I'm a bad host. I didn't write this down.
All right, so I guess I could tell a joke. So there's a horse. The horse wants to start a band. He contacts his friend the cow, and says, "Hey, do you want to start a band with me?" And the cow says, "Sure. What places are available?" And the horse says, "All places." And the cow says, "Great, I can play the bass guitar." So the cow's in the band.
Now, what about the cow when he and the horse wanted to start their own bridge construction business? Because John's bridge was straws.
If you know the end, if you know the rest of that joke, audience, let us know. Actually, don't let us know. We will continue the joke next series.
I do know the rest of that joke because I watched a charity live stream.
Don't spoil the end for it.
No.
I mean, it's an obvious joke, but it's one of my favorite jokes.
No, you don't understand this, Emerson. I watched a charity live stream last year. It's called Desert Bus for Hope. It's by a YouTube channel I like. There was a guy on it who did this horse joke. It was in 2 parts. It took 47 minutes and ended with the obvious punchline in the middle of a sentence. Like, he just sort of said, and, forgive me if I give away the ending here, but the presumed ending is, the ending for a horse joke is horse walks into a bar and why the long face. He dropped that into the middle of a sentence after spending 45 minutes getting everyone invested in this ridiculous universe that he had created for the joke.
That
and then stopped.
That's why it's funny, because I know.
No, I know. I was having a flashback to that because I seriously thought for a half second that you might have watched this before, and we're going to recite for 45 minutes a horse joke, and I was going to have to kill you.
I saw that version somewhere else, although it was nowhere near as long. I think it took about 5 to 7 minutes to tell the whole story.
But
also, if I can go back to BoJack Horseman for a second.
Yes.
The show almost ends on that joke.
Oh my god.
Like, literally, for those of you who haven't seen BoJack Horseman, skip ahead a little bit. I don't know, 30-something seconds. For
How
those
do I
who have
skip ahead in real life? I haven't seen it. Keep going. I don't plan on watching it.
Okay, so the second to last episode of the show is a really, really deep, depressing episode where BoJack basically goes on a drug trip, and in his trip he has like a dinner party with all the people who were previously in his life who have died, because BoJack is on the brink of almost dead at this point as well in real life. And the next episode, the episode itself, this penultimate episode is so brilliant, but the episode after that, the actual series finale, is really just okay. But that episode ends with it starts in the real world, because what BoJack did was he'd broken into his old house to have this drug trip, and what he's done is he's essentially taken out of the house, taken into court, and thrown to prison, all while a song. I can't remember exactly what the song is called, but it repeats the lyric "So why the long face" over and over again. So in a way, it's sort of like that story with the horse finishing with "Why the long face."
Huh.
If I will say though, if that line, if it actually
horse walks behind bars, why the long face? Yeah, that's a good joke.
But I will say though, if the show actually ended with BoJack going into a bar and the barman saying "Why the long face," that would have been the best ending. I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
The way the show actually ended is all right, but I think that if it ended like that, especially because we know that the build up to that joke is supposed to be so long, I don't know. It would have been perfect.
But yes, back to the horse and the cow who have the bridge construction business. John's bridge is the straws that have been stuck into the blue tack, made out of gum, so that they're there. The spaghetti is on top, then the playing cards. Then he stuck the matchsticks into the potato. The potato's standing on them, and and so the potato is standing on top of them, and then the horse, the canal boat, and both cows are being used as bridge supports in the middle of the river. And that's John's bridge.
Yeah, it's 11 fruit pastels high.
Yes, 11.4. Though John wanted it measured in kilometers.
I mean, why would you do that? It would make it seem so much smaller than it actually was.
Just like John Richardson.
Lol. John Richardson is small and there's nothing he can do about it.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is still theoretically your task, Emerson. What about the rest of the people?
I don't know. Doc Brown's was like 10 fruit pastels high.
Okay,
I hadn't anticipated on covering this task, if I'm being honest.
Why didn't you tell me that? We went through this before we started recording.
I did tell you that, but I said I might need some help.
Okay, some help. Is this a British sort of understated thing? Some help means I didn't get all the notes down, not I didn't get any of them.
If I hadn't written anything down at all, how would I be able to give you accurate measurements in fruit pastels of what their things were?
I don't know. You seem like the kind of person who memorizes that.
No, that's because I wrote it down.
Okay. But
let's work together to do this, okay? Let's stop arguing. Let's put our heads as close together as they can get, considering we are thousands of miles away from each other, and just do this together. What is Doc Brown's bridge made of, Joe?
He had a pretty tall structure with the potato held up with cards and a bridge deck of matchstick straws and the model cows. Catherine's bridge was a ridiculous failure. Hers was the worst of all of them.
She made hers of spaghetti, I think.
Well, no, she made hers out of rubber bands and straws. She made these two
initially
pyramids.
Out of spaghetti.
Initially out of spaghetti, yes. But she made two pyramids out of straws, which he then strung the rubber bands across. I guess trying to make like a rope bridge sort of thing or a slack line, and it didn't work.
Nope,
it didn't work.
Colossal failure for Catherine.
And so the potato just fell on the ground, and Alex measured it from there, and so hers was 1 millimeter. Doc's bridge was 10 centimeters. Then Joe, meanwhile, is having a panic attack because he asked for some wood and didn't get it, which is also really funny considering we know where the wood was. He builds a house of cards, has the panic attack, has a brainwave when he realizes he can make arches out of the playing cards, repeats there is strength in arches like a dying man holding onto a life ring.
Also, this would have been Joe Wilkinson's fragrance.
And sheer panic as he builds an arched sort of bridge structure and stacks them up. I think it's like 3 or 4 layers tall, and then he gets his to be 9 centimeters tall. Richard Osman does something very similar to John Richardson. His bridge is made out of straws and spaghetti and the plastic cows and the horse.
Catherine didn't want to use any animals because she didn't want to take advantage of their defenselessness, even though they're just pieces of plastic.
Yep, well, she's clearly talking about the defenseless dinosaurs that were killed to make this plastic.
Yeah, because we all know dinosaurs are made of plastic.
Well, dinosaurs died millions of years ago, went into the ground, were turned into coal, turned into oil, and then the oil is what plastic is made out of. That's the joke.
I get it now. Okay. Anyway, let's. Joe, getting other people's jokes on the fly is not really my strong suit.
Okay, I will make a note of that for the future.
But it is still quite funny, though.
Yeah.
Because to an extent, I'm okay with people laughing at my expense.
Yeah. But for future reference, that is why in the Cars, that's why there's like that's why Dynaco is an oil company in the Cars movies, because dinosaur. And that's why Sinclair stations in the United States had a dinosaur on their logo for a long time. Still do, actually.
I'm going to drop a soundbite in here of Chick Hicks saying his amazing phrase.
Oh yeah, you want to know the forecast? I'll give you the forecast. 100% chance of thunder, kachika, kachika, say it with me, kachika, chika, chika.
Okay, we're back.
I'm impressed you went through the Cars movies to find a soundbite from it. That's impressive.
I don't need to. There's clips on YouTube of him saying it.
Sure thing. I still would have to find it, and that's more effort than I would go through. But so final scores. John Richardson built the tallest bridge, 11.4 centimeters. Doc 10, Joe 9, Richard 8, Catherine 1 millimeter.
Damn.
They are all there, and they were all very, very small bridges because they didn't look under the table.
I swear, they're lucky this happened early on, because people would be finding loopholes by now, looking everywhere.
Mm-hmm. I feel as though Taskmaster at some point the show will have to end, because people will just show up with a load-bearing vest containing every tool imaginable. But apparently, one of the things Alex Horne says is that nobody ever learns. He always gets new comedians on. They never learn.
Taskmaster could go on for ages and still feel really fresh and original.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it so timeless, I think.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, because I mean, we're on. They finished series 11, and honestly, it's like the show. Well, it's really at its high point of popularity.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've been going for over an hour and a half now. The scores at this point: John wins with 5. Doc gets 3. Doc gets 4. Sorry, Joe gets 3. Richard 2, and Catherine 1. Which means the scores are: Richard has 14, Joe and John both have 11, Catherine has 10, and Doc Brown has 8.
Yes. And now we have the live task.
Whoop whoop! The final live task of the series, people.
Yes, and this one is honestly one of the funniest ones too. It's so funny, just the beginning of it, because
you can read the task out, but make sure you read it in its original state.
The task, as it was written on the card, was put on a pair of food handler gloves, comma, eat a whole banana, comma, correctly put on a tie, comma, and clap as many times as possible. All tasks must be done within 100 seconds. Most claps win. Now, can you just drop in the soundbite from Catherine Ryan right here?
I'll drop in the soundbite, including Richard reading the task out too.
Yes.
You can hear her frustration audibly doing that. I might even play the whole thing because there's some stuff afterwards. But anyway.
Put on a pair of food handling gloves, eat a whole banana, correctly put on a tie, and clap as many times as possible. All tasks must be completed within 100 seconds. Most claps wins.
I sense an objection coming from Catherine.
What the?
Thank you. Great reading.
No, I didn't listen to the last bit because this is an example of the type of top-down misogyny that keeps people like me losing.
I don't know how to react to that.
Shut up!
I'll tell you the answer. Do you not know how to put a tie on? Is that?
No! Let's all put on a tampon, and then we'll see.
I'll put your tie on if you eat my banana. I'm married though, so that's where it ends.
That's a court case that I'm prepared to witness for. Catherine might have a point. I'm just thinking if there's something...
Hold on, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to read all the words here. I'm going to move one comma, and we'll see if we can sort this out.
Let's go.
OK. Put on a pair of food handling gloves, eat a whole banana correctly, put on a tie, and clap as many times as possible.
Done. Surely.
I feel now that I've ruined the task.
No. Not at all.
Now we see the trouble that coin has got us into, don't we?
Yeah, Catherine.
Shame on you, Alex Horn.
It's one of the funnier rants I've heard in a while by Catherine.
Catherine chases Alex around the stage. It's funny because she's so much shorter than he is, and she starts kicking him as well.
She goes full Karen and starts chasing after him.
Because also Catherine runs like she's running in her heels, but she's taken her heels off.
Yeah. Well, because presumably she knows it's like they could make me do some stupid bullshit. I'm not going to run around in my heels in case they tell me to do like a one-legged race or something.
Well, I don't think. Well, if the task was physically demanding anyway, she would have taken her shoes off to begin with.
Yeah, but anyway, so just so that we make it aware to what happened, one of the commas was moved so that now it is eat a whole banana correctly, put on a tie. Now this actually screws over Joe Wilkinson
because he has an advantage.
No, he has a disadvantage because he is allergic to bananas.
He had an advantage before, is what I meant.
Yes. And but then the next line, of course, from John, as it was said, now we see the trouble that coin's got us into, don't we?
Woof.
But
what a bold statement.
They do in fact begin the task. Joe Wilkinson lost a lot of time because he tried to put the tie on correctly. He did not have to do that. All he had to do was drape it around his neck like Catherine did, and it would have been fine. I actually had to think about the correct way to eat a banana because I'm entirely not sure what the correct way is considered.
Apparently the correct way is...
do it from the bottom so the strings don't attach? Yeah. but that's dumb.
I don't know how to do it like that, personally.
I don't either. But what I was thinking, as soon as someone said the correct way to eat a banana, the only thing that was in my head was picking it up and taking a bite out of it unpeeled, because that's the wrong way. Because like it's one of those things like, don't do that, immediately wants to do that, like that sort of thing.
Oh, I see. Reverse psychology.
Yes.
And
then,
they've also just got to put the tie on, not correctly.
Yes.
They can like just wrap it around like a scarf. Almost.
Yeah. John Richardson also put his tie on properly, which cost him valuable claps. Joe, as we said, didn't eat the banana. He actually put it in his mouth and then spat it out. Please make your own jokes there. We already have an entire episode full of stuff about full of jokes about that. But and then they actually someone else was complaining. I don't remember who it was complaining that they didn't clap a lot because I think it was John, because they didn't think that they really cared about the claps. No, they had one person for each contestant looking at them with clickers, seeing how many claps they did. So
that's a really risky method.
Yeah. Well, if you have people watching real closely, because they've probably got cameras on each person, so you have one person each watching the live feed. John, and then you can just go back and do it if there's any dispute. But John got 192 claps. Catherine got 221. Joe Wilkinson, 234, but was disqualified because he didn't eat the banana. Although, again, if we want to go into this, there's probably a big debate as to whether or not he did, in fact, eat it. He did not swallow. Make your own jokes there. Make your own jokes about all of that sort of stuff. We don't have time for it. It's 7 o'clock. The sun is still up. I want to go do something.
It's now June the 3rd, where I am.
June the 3rd? Really? You live in last month?
I'm Doc Brown. I'm a time traveler. No, it's July the 3rd. Sorry.
Yes, but Joe got 234, but was disqualified. Doc did 237. Very interesting. Only 3 claps off of Joe. And then Richard Osman, with his massive body and his massive hands, 249, giving him first place.
So the scores are I've put Doc's name twice on my scoreboard for this task. So I think it was Richard 5, then it was Doc 4, Catherine 3, John 2, and Joe 1. Is that right?
Joe 0. Joe 0 because he was disqualified.
Joe 0, sorry. Which means the overall episode scores. Richard wins on 19. John and Catherine both get 13. Jesus Christ, I've been copying people's names down all wrong. John and Catherine in joint second.
Why are you asking me?
Because the thing is, I've put... For fuck's sake.
Richard, one thing I don't have written
Richard
down.
wins the episode. Let's just put it at that. And he wins all the memorabilia. He gets his Jockey Wilson poster, the signed poster of the Grand Union Canal, the Votes for Women coin, and the other tat that I don't remember. But we have the more important issue of the overall score.
The series.
So, should we go from last to first? So
you can. I don't have it written down.
In last place,
I just have
unsurprisingly is drumroll.
Joe Wilkinson.
Joe Wilkinson on 69 points.
Nice.
In fourth place is Doc Brown on 78 points. In third place is Richard Osman on 86. In second place is John Richardson on 90. And the winner,
is Catherine Ryan
on 94 points. Yay!
Yay!
Cue confetti.
We only mentioned this last like 2 episodes
I
ago.
have one thing to say about the scores. Catherine scored exactly the same number of points as Josh Widdicombe. And there was one fewer episode in her series.
That one big task really did a lot for her.
Yeah, that was, to be fair. Someone could have won an episode with that many points from the hat throwing task alone.
Yeah.
But anyway, well done, Catherine. She doesn't get the karate trophy. Instead, she gets the shiny replica
of Greg Davies' head.
A shiny Greg Davies golden noggin. And she can do what she wants with it. Anyway, that's it for Series 2 of Taskmaster. This will be it from us.
Yeah, we'll be back next week to do...
We will be doing... We did mention in the Q&A we will be doing Series 2 and 3 back-to-back, because they're quite short. So, yeah, we won't be going anywhere next week. Stick around for Series 3. We will have 5 brand new, fresh faces.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting, isn't it?
And 5 more episodes, because these 2 are the shorter seasons.
Yep. Why they were shorter, I don't know. But not every question is meant to be answered.
There's a term for that. It's called British brevity, because all you guys have really short TV shows.
Explain why every series after, like... Even the series after Series 3 is quite long. It's a non-fiction show that requires very little scripting, so more episodes can be produced, I guess.
I was going to say, reality TV shows out here have like 30 episodes a season. This is not... You guys have like 10.
Depends on the show, to be honest, because I mean, like, I'm a Celebrity, as I mentioned before, will often have like somewhere in the range of 15, maybe more episodes a series.
Let me see how many episodes.
Most reality shows in Britain are in the range of, like, say, 8 to 12 episodes a series.
Okay, hold on. Fear Factor was an American TV show. Let me see. How many list of episodes. Okay, season 2 of Fear Factor had 19 episodes.
Oh.
This is in 2002.
I'm a Celebrity. Yeah, I'm a Celebrity. Get me out of here.
Holy shit. Season 3 had... Guess how many episodes Season 3 of Fear Factor had?
I don't know, 60?
27.
Okay.
The championship episode was a 3-parter.
Woo. That's a bit much.
Season 4 was 34 episodes. Season 5 was 31.
Do whatever you want with this useless information.
British TV shows are very, very short in number of episodes compared to...
Sitcoms are very short in terms of episodes because they have fewer writers. Reality shows tend to have slightly more because obviously they're not as scripted. I'm a Celebrity. I'm a Celebrity used to have about 15 episodes, but it'll now have, say, like in the range of 20 to 22 episodes a series.
Okay, season 11 of The Big Bang Theory was 24 episodes.
Damn.
So, American TV shows have more episodes per season than British TV shows do.
Of course.
That was the only point I was trying to make here.
Well, you made your point.
Yeah.
So, should we draw the curtains to a close?
Yes, we should.
So, everyone's probably gone home by now. If you've made it this far, we thank you. I've been Emerson. Oh, fuck off.
And I've been Joe.
I bumped my mic again.
I've been bumping mine all episode. You'll have to do some audio work there. Sorry.
Oh well. Anyway, bye. We'll see you next series.
See you next week. Goodbye.